Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan himself, in particular, called for this extraordinary summit. And before it started, he said one thing. He said, we need together send the world a strong message about the status of Jerusalem. And it's that exact tone that we're seeing today, a very strong tone from everyone who spoke. But in particular, the Turkish president, I think, was the strongest in his tone. In particular, he talked about Jerusalem as being the harmonious, mutual capital for three major religions. But he went as far as to criticize Israel as being involved in a massacre along the Gaza Strip. And of course, he went as far as even comparing the Holocaust to Israeli actions today. And apart from this, in particular, he said condemnation has not worked. We've seen year in, year out, the Israeli authorities being condemned for their actions, but it's simply not working, so we need to take more action. And it's that more action other leaders who've come to this summit are also calling for. Now, in particular, we can say that along Erdogan, the King of Jordan, Abdullah II, also made a speech. He talked about Israeli aggression, and possibly the only way of stopping this is via legal action, because it's against, he said, the United Nations resolutions, and Israel should stand at a court of justice. And after him, of course, we've seen the Palestinian Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah. He came out and he talked about the oppression his people have been facing for years. He talked about the importance of returning to the 1967 borders, and he called on the United Nations and the international community to stand with Palestinian people. We can say that prior to this meeting, Turkey was talking about using this summit as a mediation for pushing Israel to come and stand at the International Criminal Court to pay for what they have done. And perhaps that's what we might see at the resolution later on throughout the night. Maybe a resolution which would put more pressure on the United Nations and the international community to help motivate them to bring Israel to the International Criminal Court and stand along the court against what went on in Gaza. Of course, we're talking about more than 60 people who've been killed there. So along the status of Jerusalem, we can say the excessive use of force by the Israeli army was outright condemned by everyone who spoke. And finally, we saw the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani also take a stand against Israel, and he laid out his roadmap for helping prevent what's going on with the Palestinians and providing more solidarity with them. In particular, he called for the disarmament of Israel's nuclear arms. He said that that is a threat for the entire world, and there should be a legal process to stop them from using nuclear weapons. And he said the last day of Ramadan, of course, it is the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims all around the world, and this is a mainly Muslim majority country summit. He said the last day of Ramadan should be remembered as Jerusalem Day, to stand in solidarity with Palestinians. But the main theme, I could say, of the conference so far was outright condemnation of Israel's actions against Palestinians and the call for a legal process to start as soon as possible to bring Israel before an international criminal court of justice.